It's been a while. It's been like a month. I'm so sorry. I've been traveling a lot. I was meant to record videos back in the US, but I was also going to school while I was over there. And, I was just trying to take that time to spend with family and all this good stuff. But, today, we do have some DC news to be talking about. I'm not going to go over every single thing that I've grabbed over the past few months. I only have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only have 6 images to show you here. But, yeah. Also, I did watch The Suicide Squad by James Gunn the other day. The review for that will be coming shortly. Yeah, let's just say I wasn't too fond of it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. So, this quote right here, this is Ben Affleck's response to Zack Snyder's fans being so intense online. This was from an article a few months ago, when he was talking about how he almost committed suicide over the reshoots of Justice League, and, the abomination that was, and, this was either from Variety or some other big source, I can't remember who, but, here's the quote. "Say what you want, but it's my highest rated career movie," Affleck stated. "I've never had one that went from nadir to pinnacle. Radioactively, it's a hit. All of a sudden, I was being congratulated for the bomb I'm in. The genius and silver lining that is that Zack Snyder eventually went to AT&T and was like, look, I can get you 4 hours of content, and it's principally just all the slow motion that he shot in black and white. And one day of shooting with me and him, he was like, do you want to come shoot with me in my backyard? I was like, I think they're a union, Zack. I think we have to make a deal. But I went and did it, and now Zack Snyder's Justice League is my highest rated movie on IMDb. IMDb. It's a very weird thing, but yeah. Listen, Zack Snyder's Justice League, for me personally, is one of the greatest comic book movies that there has ever been. It's truly spectacular, and Affleck right here did a great job in that film. Yeah, it's really, really good. Plus, come at me if you want, but Ben Affleck's the best Batman, so try and come after me, I dare you. Here's some... Oh, okay, I'll go over that in a little bit. The big stuff I'll talk about, later. So, this right here was the viewership for the Peacemaker season finale, and just its 4 days of streaming. Only 584,000 people watched it. That's not great. Guys, I'm telling you, seriously, not even just from a Snyder fan. Like, I like Snyder's films. Like, those are, like, a bit higher up for me than everyone else's. But you can't deny that this universe is a mess, and it will continue to be a mess for a really long time until Gunn is eventually fired. And my worst fear is that the next person who takes over after that will do just as bad as DC as he's doing with it right now. He's putting out 2 Batman films in the same year. The Batman Part 2 and Brave and the Bold. And both of them is supposedly supposed to have Robin. And both of them are played by different actors. But yet, that's not going to confuse anyone. It's going to confuse a lot of people. Hello. So, yeah, listen. And what he's done with Peacemaker and Maker and Vigilante, and he's just really, really bad at butchering characters, because, like, he does it a lot. Drax Destroyer isn't supposed to be a comedic relief, but he was in Volume 3 and Volume 2. He was sort of serious in Volume 1. But, yeah. Okay, so I have one more thing to show you here, and then we'll get on to the big stuff. So this is coming from Variety. Man of Steel writer David S. Goyer. You guys are probably shocked, right? You're like, I thought Snyder wrote Man of Steel and all these films. He was the freaking director. You guys come after him over everything when he isn't the freaking one writing these movies. He may have a small, tiny, weeny, tiny margin in it, but there are other writers writing those films. So stop coming after my boy, because it's gone too far. Anyway, Goyer said, I know the pressure we were getting from Warner Brothers, which was, we need our MCU. And I was like, let's not run before we walk. Man of Steel writer said it was crazy how Warner Brothers / DC tried to build their own, I'm assuming that says universe. Guys, Man of Steel was a great start. It would have been a great start to a fantastic cinematic universe. But for whatever reason, Warner Brothers decided to rush things. That came out in, Man of Steel came out in 2013, and that was the year right after the Avengers came out and made that buku amounts of money. And I guess Warner Brothers was just like, yeah, we need to catch up. And then again, I don't know why, because you're a completely separate studio, completely separate franchise, but you're like, yeah, we're gonna try and catch up with these Marvel people, and we're gonna try and do we're gonna try and do what they're doing, but at the same time, we're not gonna try and do what we're doing. We're only gonna let Zack Snyder do 3 films, and then not let the rest of the slate that was announced in 2014 actually be released. Rick Famuyiwa's Flash film? No, we're not going to do that. We're going to give that to Andy Muschietti. Or the countless other directors that were hired. The Cyborg movie? We're not going to do that. Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3? No. We're going to do Shazam. We're gonna do Aquaman. We're gonna do Blue Beetle. We're gonna do all this other stuff that was not supposed to happen. Now, the Aquaman film was supposed to happen. The Wonder Woman film was supposed to happen. Did that lead into the Snyder DC continuity? Not really. You weren't sitting around for a post-credit scene, were you? Nope. Was Justice League any good? Absolutely not. I'm telling you, Warner Brothers are just a very, very bad and corrupt studio. All they want is money. That's all they want. Disney? I would say they're better at handling reshoots than Warner Brothers are. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom has been through 3 rounds of reshoots and have cut both Batman out of the film. It's not even James Wan's film coming out in theaters anymore. It's the studio's film. It's basically Gunn's film at this point. And they changed the ending of The Flash and all this stuff, and yeah, it was just... Anyway. DC and Warner Bros. Discovery are officially and finally being taken to trial, for Matt Reeves stealing the Batman story from Chris Wozniak. So, if you guys don't know, Chris Wozniak was pitching this story since I believe it was 2008. Warner Brothers repeatedly shut it down in his face. And then they decided to take that story and give it to Matt Reeves. And by the way, another thing, there are things in this film that were taken from Ben Affleck's Batman script. Warner Brothers need to be taken to court, and there needs to be some sort of justice given out to Ben Affleck, to Chris Wozniak, to basically anyone who's supposed to be involved with those films. I don't know why they wouldn't include Wozniak in the Batman, but it's just, yeah. And now that I know that the Batman was someone else's completely different story, it wasn't even Matt Reeves' original, why should I care for it? But yeah. Listen, that should be being resolved soon. Wozniak I believe he did come out on Twitter and confirm this, and he was like, I don't know why people would assume we're doing the opposite. We are going to be going to trial. And, yeah. So, listen, that's some pretty big news right there. Anyway, here's on to one of the main topics of the video, and then we're gonna get into the really big topic. James Wan on possibly directing Aquaman 3. He's not going to do an Aquaman 3, I can tell you already. But, he had this to say. I'd be open on doing another Aquaman if I got the same freedom I've had on these first two. Freedom? Brother, you were called back 3 times to do reshoots. What do you mean, freedom? There's literally a quote out there from him that came out a few months ago and was like, I don't even know which version, final cut, the film will be releasing in theaters. Like, I'm super confused. He continues the quote with him saying, I'm not even sure what direction Gunn and Safran are going in, though. So, who knows? I've never learned to say never. Yeah. No one knows which direction Gunn and Safran are going in at this point. It's all too complicated. And, yeah. Anyway. So, alright. This was being reported by everyone else. The Hollywood Reporter, everyone. Okay. But this is when I first saw it, so this is the first screenshot. Okay. Here is what I've heard. None of this is concrete, obviously, but then, obviously, everyone did their research, and it seems like this is going to be happening. Talks between Warner Brothers and Universal happened last year. Zaslav doesn't want Warner Brothers long term. Thank God, because he doesn't know what he's doing. Universal wants Warner Brothers and hopes to have them by the end of 2024. I really hope that they at least make some sort of progress by the end of this year. If a deal does happen, it will be for Warner Brothers and DC only. Yeah. Make it happen. Please. Please take DC out of the hands of this studio. I don't want them to be in charge of this studio anymore. It's just too much. Golly, reshoot after reshoot after reshoot after reshoot. Continues to squibble in other directors' visions and plans. It needs to stop, and it needs to come to an end, and it needs to come to an end fairly quickly. But yeah. Listen, that's all the news I have for you right now. Thank you all so much for waiting on me. I don't even know when this video is going to come out, but I know it's going to come out relatively soon. Maybe even tonight or tomorrow or the next day. I don't know. But I have some stuff to do. But I should have some more free time on my hands. And yeah, listen. Don't trust anything Gunn says, like, at all. Because knowing him, he's probably going to backtrack on it in like a few months. So anyway, I love you all. Make sure to comment down below what you guys thought of the video and what you guys think of this news. Let me know what you guys think on Warner Brothers, Universal potentially buying Warner Brothers. I think it's a good thing. You know why? Because my man Christopher Nolan is over there at Universal. And, well, he obviously did the Dark Knight trilogy. He obviously worked, a lot of people actually don't know this, but Nolan was a producer on the Snyder films. Zack Snyder's Justice League, Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman. Was a producer on all of those. Nolan was the one who initially came up with the story for Man of Steel. So, yeah. Anyway, I will catch you all in the next video. Take care and peace.